Hello everyone. Now we are going to discuss about cellular receptor for microbes, products of damaged cells and foreign substance. What are PAMs and DAMs? PAMs stand for pathogen associated molecular patterns. They are microbial components, and DAMs are damage associated molecular patterns released by the injured and necrotic cells. What are pattern recognition receptors? They are cellular receptors that recognize PAMs and DAMs. They are located in all cellular compartments. On cell membrane, toll-like receptor, C-type lectin. In the cytosol, node-like receptor, RIG-like receptor, and on endosome, toll-like receptors. The first is toll-like receptors. They recognize microbial molecules. They present on the cell membrane and endosome. On stimulation, they activate NF-κ beta, which result in the synthesis and secretion of the cytokines and expression of the adhesion molecule, which result into the leukocyte recruitment. And the other mechanism, on stimulation, toll-like receptor activate interferon regulatory factors and result into the secretion of interferon 1. Node-like receptors, they are the cytosolic receptors. They recognize product released from the necrotic and damaged cells, for example uric acid and ATP, and they also recognize microbial products. Node-like receptors on activation stimulate the assembly of inflammasome, which activate the caspase-1, which result into the conversion of precursor interleukin-1 into the active form of interleukin-1. Interleukin-1 further recruit leukocyte and result into the inflammation and fever. So now we will see the inflammasome pathway briefly. This is the image of Robbins, beautifully illustrated the inflammasome pathway. Pathogenic bacteria and ATP result into the stimulation of node-like receptor, which further stimulate the assembly of inflammasome, which convert inactive caspase into the active caspase-1, which further convert pro-interleukin-1 into the interleukin-1, active form of the interleukin-1, and interleukin-1 result into the inflammation by recruiting leukocytes. Inflammasome pathway plays an important role in gout by sensing uric acid and diabetes mellitus and into the atherosclerosis. Now we will discuss about the other receptors. RIG-like receptor, retinoic acid inducible gene 1. These are the cytosolic receptors. They detect nucleic acid, viral nucleic acid, and stimulate the STING pathway. STING stand for the stimulator for interferon gene and result into the interferon alpha secretion. On excessive stimulation of the STING pathway, interferon, it result into the interferonopathy, excess of the interferon. Next receptor is plasma G protein coupled receptor. They recognize N-formyl methionine residue, which is basically the part of all the bacterial proteins. Next is mannose receptors. They recognize microbial sugar and stimulate phagocytosis. Now we will see the different cellular receptors on this diagram. As we can see, toll-like receptors are present on the cell membrane and on the endosomal membrane. Lectins are also the cell membrane receptors. Node-like receptors are the cytosolic receptor. RIG like receptors are also the cytosolic receptor. They recognize viral nucleic acids. There is an entity known as autoinflammatory syndrome or periodic fever syndrome. One gain of function mutation in NLR receptors or loss of function mutation in regulators of inflammasome. This result into the autoinflammatory syndrome, and